was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in long conversations. Oh, cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you keep on waiting. But then you came along and proved me I'm wrong. I was so mistaken. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free. Oh, my sweet baby. I was never the one to give up the ghost, so I was so stuck. I kept on playing my part, wanting to give up cause nothing was changing. But with you it's so clear, and now that you're here I see colors in every spectrum. Cause I finally learned my lesson. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. I feel so free. Oh, my sweet baby. And I think to myself, and I'm thinking out loud, we won't need nothing else for the rest of our time. And I know it so well, I will always be by your side. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free. Oh, my sweet baby. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free. Oh, my sweet baby.
아리따게 저려오는 왼쪽 팔에 잠이 든 널 깨우고 싶지 않아서 또 한참을 굳어있어 방구석처럼 내 곁에서 쉬게 해주고 싶은 이 마음 말까 조금은 서운해지곤 해. 좀 더 얘기하고 싶었는데 이렇게 나란히 누워서 잠든 네 얼굴 보면서 지켜줄 수 있어 행복해. 평생 800개가 돼줄게. 그렇게 넌 내게 오면 돼. 지친 하루의 끝 그곳에 내가 있어줄게. 내 곁에 평생 800개가 돼줄게. 여기다 안겨오는 네 얼굴이 맞닿을 듯 더 가까워져 오는 걸 심장이 두근대 솟아내 잠시 온 세상이 멈춘 듯해 이렇게 나란히 누워서 잠든 네 얼굴 보면서 지켜줄 수 있어 감사해 평생 800개가 돼줄게 그렇게 넌 내게 오면 돼 지친 하루의 끝 그곳에 내가 있어줄게 내 곁에 평생 800개가 돼줄게